All hella beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. Today we are here with a new release from the house of Mont Blanc. Alright, and we are diving into the Legend series, and today we're talking about Mont Blanc Legend Red Eau de Parfum. Now this one is an EDP concentration, and we know that the original was, well, an EDT. Now what I'll tell you about this fragrance is it's obviously a flanker, and if you have not checked out my flanker video, then go ahead and do so after this one. I'll be sure it's linked and listed down below. Now with this fragrance here, I've smelled this fragrance on a few occasions. I smelled this fragrance a few weeks ago at my local Dillard's. They didn't have a bottle, but they had like a decant, and they had one available for me. I sprayed a little on skin, sprayed a little on paper, and I got to experience it for a bit. Now that I have the bottle in my possession, I've been experiencing it for a while, and I'm ready to tell you how I feel. Now, this fragrance here to me does a few things. One, I am a huge fan of the color red, so I was extremely intrigued, and I would have purchased it for that alone. However, I always have a little bit of heartburn when I dive into the house of Mont Blanc, because I know that if I wait, not a very long time, that the fragrance will be cut at least in half, and probably more so around that 65% off price point. But in most cases, I can be guaranteed to spend at least 50% less of what this fragrance cost retail. Now the 3.3 ounce bottle is $100, and then the other one, the 1.7, is $80. So obviously the 100 ml is the better buy, as in most cases. Now with this fragrance, the note breakdown is said to be blood orange in the top, you have sage in the mid, and you have some mahogany woods in the base of this scent. So the fragrance here is also said to be bolder, richer, and to make you feel more confident and more powerful than the original. Now, you know, on this channel, what we do is improve confidence via compliments using the wonderful world of fragrance. So will this fragrance do it? Well, we'll dive in. Again, we already talked about the presentation on this one. It is a red bottle, but what I'll tell you is it picks up fingerprints really bad, all right? And all of the other ones did that too, but it takes away from the luster of this bottle. Now, what I would say is that if it were me and I were picking this bottle and designing it, I would have liked to see this red to be a little bit deeper, right? If we're looking at the description of being bolder, being more powerful, I think that a different shade of red would have conveyed that a bit more. Now, as you saw, I just sprayed this fragrance, so you got to see the distribution. And what I'll tell you is that this fragrance does smell good in the air. I think that this fragrance is a nice scent, and when I think of it, my mind automatically goes to like spring, summer, maybe early fall. That's kind of where I am on this. I do not find that this fragrance is going to be best in the winter, and that is the time that I am testing this fragrance. So if anything seems a little bit off in terms of longevity, projection, the way I say this fragrance smells down the line, just keep that in mind, because that could have a little bit of influence on how this fragrance performs overall. So when I spray this fragrance, I do feel that it comes off fresh, but it's not anything that's earth-shattering or like super revolutionary in terms of freshness, all right? It's something that is familiar, and with that, I think it's something that people will enjoy, and it will be easy to wear. When I find me wearing this fragrance, that sage that's there provides a little bit of backbone, but I also find that the sage within this fragrance comes to life a bit more, and to me, in my nose, it's a little bit more prevalent than that blood orange in the top. There's this earthy aspect to this fragrance that is there, and it's okay, but I think when you begin to transition, this fragrance changes a lot, okay? So again, in that top of this fragrance, you're gonna get something that's bright, it's airy, it's effervescent, but there's this tonka within this fragrance that really makes this fragrance warm. It has a coziness to it, which is why I said that this fragrance can work in the early fall time. I don't think that this fragrance will go deep into fall. Certainly not a winter fragrance if you are one who follows the trends. But if you're looking for a fragrance that can pretty much work in almost every situation in terms of seasons, then this is the way to go. When I think of this fragrance, from smelling it and also wearing it, again, this scent, Mont Blanc Legend Red Eau de Parfum is extremely easy to wear. This has a great designer aspect to it, and by designer aspect to it, I mean in most cases designer fragrances are crowd pleasing. They are meant to really capture the masses for those big box retailers and really get you in that opening, because most people aren't wearing this, coming back to it and determining if they're going to make the purchase. They're really capturing on that top note. So I think that they do that there. But the fragrance does change up quite a bit, so keep that in mind. There's some warmth here, a little bit of coziness that I do enjoy about the scent, but if you were a big fan of the opening of the scent, you may think that this fragrance lacks, you know, everything as it progresses. Now, again, as I mentioned, with Mont Blanc fragrances, I feel that the price point in store is a little off, because I know that when I wait a few weeks, a month, whatever, the fragrance can be found in some retailers for a discounted price, but 6 months down the line, I'm likely going to be able to find this with ease for a cheaper price. And I think at that cheaper price point, it's a better buy. That's my take. However, if you want something now, I think that this one is there. Now, I don't feel that this fragrance is super unique, all right? I've smelled fragrances that smell like this. I can't recall them all, but it doesn't have anything to me that's like, okay, this is different and I need to grab it. This is a fragrance I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab it. It'll probably sit down with the rest of the Mont Blanc fragrances if I'm being real. So that's my take on this one. It's not a bad scent, but it's not a great fragrance either, at least at where it stands today. I get that from wearing this like 2 weeks ago on skin, wearing it on a test strip or smelling it on a test strip, and then a couple days of wearing this around the house on test strips. I have multiple test strips here with them on them. It's not a bad fragrance. It's just not a great fragrance. Now, the $100 price point for this one, don't get me wrong, it's not like asking too much for the scent. I feel like it's worth it. Otherwise, I would have just passed over it completely. But I do think it's going to be a better buy at that cheaper price point. Now, with this scent, you can expect the fragrance that is okay in terms of lasting. For me, it gets about 5 to 7 hours in terms of that total longevity. But again, right now it's winter, it's cold, the weather has been crazy lately. And listen, I know some of you out there in places that are a lot colder than here, but moving up from Florida, I was talking to a friend today. He said it was 85 degrees. It is 30 degrees here today, okay? So there's a difference. Traditionally, I'm used to that 85 degree during this time of the year, so let me live a bit, okay, and say that it's cold. I wore a sweater today. All right, so there you have it. I think a lot of people will enjoy this fragrance, okay? Especially people who are non-frag heads. If you are not deep into the fragrance culture, not deep into the fragrance game, then I feel like this is a fragrance that's going to be easy for someone to pick up and to wear. And I think they knew exactly what they were doing with this red bottle. Now, I think a lot of people out there think that the blood orange, that blood in mind would be to the red bottle, but I think that they did this as a marketing ploy as we're releasing this right around Valentine's Day. And maybe be an easier pickup because you can match it up with a lot of stuff. Likely not the case, but that's what I'm running with. All right, projection, this one does have good projection. This one does pop, boom, pops off the skin for a bit. For about 2 hours or so, you can get a nice pop, okay? And then it begins to calmly settle down a bit, but it's still detectable. You can still get it, especially on clothing and or test strips, it's still there. And then you're gonna experience that again for about that 5 to 7 hour mark, and then it begins to kind of fade away completely. So, is it a good buy? I think you can make it a good buy. It's going to be a great buy at the cheaper price point. So if you can wait. Sorry, Mont Blanc. But if not, then go ahead and grab it today. Also, I think Mont Blanc feels you can wait too, because it's not available on their website right now. If you go to their website right now, type in montblanc.com, you go to the Legend series, this fragrance is not there at the time of filming this video. Hey, Mont Blanc, you don't want people to buy it? Then I don't want to buy it either. All right, listen, man, that's all I have for you guys and girls out there today. As always, I'm your boy, Big BB. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn bell.